Hi Photos subscribers. I am talking today about lenses. And if you're not a subscriber yet, if this is the first time you are talking with me or watching this video, I am Joe, a professional photographer, and I have 17 years of just learning photography equipment and 8 years outside of that 17 in a professional studio. So I learned both the studio strobe professional lighting, and I learned the ambient light that we would use outside in the sunlight or cloudy days. And today we're going to be talking about lenses. What do they do? What's their purpose? How do I choose the right one? It's actually going to be several different videos that we're not going to be able to talk about all those questions in this one. But today I'm going to be talking just about the depth of the product field. So what that means is how many lenses there are out there. We're going to be able to get directly into the use of a lot of these, but I'll show you the lenses that I have, why I chose to buy those lenses, and the purposes of those lenses. We're going to be able to talk about some of the other things and what other lenses other photographers are using and why they use them. With my 25 years experience in photography, I've shot architecture, I've shot product, I've shot landscape, I've shot portraits, I've shot weddings. There's a lot of options out there in photography. It's not just doing one thing, or you're a photographer, you do it all. I would really encourage you, if you are starting out and you're doing photography, you're trying to figure out where you want to go, choose one thing and work with it. I chose, because there was a lot of things around that just naturally lent to it, I took pictures of flowers for years. And you're like, but Joe, you're a guy, why are you doing flowers? Flowers are very intricate, and they're almost like a world within a world. So maybe it's not your photography subject, and that's fine. But don't think either that one item is a guy thing or a girl thing. Go ahead and explore some options. Cameras were intriguing to me as I learned more about how they were operating and how they were used. I began to learn also about lenses. This one on my camera here is a kit lens, what they call a kit lens. And this is the lens that came with my camera. And you can see here on the silver band up here, it has some numbers up there. And those numbers rotate so that this little mark up here on the top of my lens, see that little white mark right up there? That little mark up on this side of the barrel does not move. When I rotate the lens, you can see it moving up and down. That little part of the barrel of my lens does not move. And so that line right up here on top doesn't move either. But you can see that silver band with those numbers. That silver band and those numbers move around. And you can see my lens moving up and down. That is the zoom function of the lens. So right now, I'm zoomed to about 18 millimeters in this lens. But as I move it out, now I'm zooming out to 50 and 55 millimeters. Now, we'll get into some details about what the millimeter ratings are and what they do, but this kit lens is really intended to be a wide range of view capacity. So 18 millimeters is going to be a very wide shot. It's going to be a lot bigger of a view than you would see at a normal 1-to-1 ratio, which is about 50 millimeters. A ratio of what we see, which most approximates our view from our eyes in a camera lens, is about 50 millimeters. So then every zoom level beyond that with 50 millimeters is the next zoom level. So when you move from 50 millimeters to 100, that's the second zoom level. So in essence, you would be seeing something at about half the distance in a camera lens, and looks perhaps twice as large in the photograph than it would if we were looking at the same object with our eye, because our eye sees things approximately about the same as a camera lens of 50 millimeters would. So that would be what we call the inverse square law. When you double the space, the object looks about half as tall. Now, that's very broad, and any mathematician who's watching this is going to call me out on a lot of different things. But the inverse square law is you double the space between, or you cut it in half, then your object will change appearances. Adding more space, the object is going to look smaller. if you cut the space in half, the object is going to look bigger. So if you remove half the distance, the object is going to look twice as large because you are halfway to being at the object. And you double the space between you and the object is going to look about half as tall. So the inverse square law therefore applies, and it somewhat directly applies in the actual measurements of your lens. If you move from 50 millimeters to 25 millimeters, your object is going to look, again, half as tall because you've effectively moved away in distance. If you take that 50 millimeters and you make it 100, then your object is going to look even bigger, which is one of the reasons they call lenses telescopic lenses, or telephotographic. Telescopic would be the the use of the zoom, and some lenses in their photographic movement in visual, the telegraphic effect as you move from 50 to 100 millimeters. Sometimes they don't have a telephoto movement on the lens. It's just the glass lens inside that moves up and down the barrel of the lens. So all that being the effect and use of these lenses are important for us to know and to recognize as we move our lens and zoom in, or if it's a fixed lens, then we're going to need to realize we need to be the object that moves, that we're not going to be able to adjust our lens for any closer shot or any further away. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been of value to you. If it has, please like the video down below, subscribe. We've got a lot more videos. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things in photography, and we will look forward to seeing your comments below and how we can answer your questions directly and be able to add value to the content we're uploading to YouTube. And please, if you've subscribed, like the bell, or yeah, ring the bell below so that you don't miss any of the videos coming out of the other videos in photography that we are uploading. Thank you so much.